everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to discuss about Tesla and its correlationship with US 10 years bond yield. So we want to study how closely are these two correlated and what has it to signal us on the Tesla future prices. So if you're interested in knowing the detail of this, please stay tuned. This is Shah&Co. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. We'll start very soon. Okay, welcome back. So what I'm showing on this my chart here is actually both the Tesla stock price as well as down here the orange color is basically the US 10 years bond yield. Okay, so basically we know recently there's a lot of sell-off in the technology sector due to the rising bond yield. There's a fear of inflation and all that. But we also have received some data that suggests that though there was some inflation, but it's actually temporary in nature. So we're going to look at how closely is Tesla stock correlated with what we call US 10 years bond yield. So we're going to I'm going to start to analyze from the peak of this of Tesla. So I'm going to draw a line. So let me take a line. Okay, so this is the peak. So I'm going to just do a vertical line. So because I start to see that the correlation between Tesla and the US bond yield actually gets closely or tightly related since the what you call the peak of the Tesla price. So before that I don't really see them because probably the yield has dropped so much, and now once it's come to this particular stage from here onwards, so let me draw it here. So from here onwards we can see some sort of correlation between these two entities, Tesla as well as US 10 years bond yield. Now let me draw you the how are they correlated? Are they positively correlated or negatively correlated? Are they strongly or weakly correlated? So that's what we're going to look at. So now you see when the Tesla price is increasing, the bond yield is increasing. Okay, when the bond yield is increasing, we immediately see that, or rather show that Tesla price went sharply down. Okay, so when the intensity of the increase in bond yield is actually quite severe, very strong increase, then we saw that the drop in the Tesla stock is also very severe. Okay, thereafter, when the price of after this Tesla stock dropped, then next what we are seeing is the price is trying to retrace, is climbing up, back up. So when it's climbing up, and then now we're seeing that the bond yield is actually dropping. Okay, it's also retracing downward, and then when the Tesla stock is actually decreasing in the price, then we are seeing generally, or rather roughly, the bond yield is actually going up. It's on an uptrend. Okay, or not to say uptrend, it's on a more upward moving trend. Okay. Then recently we are seeing that Tesla price is actually making a move, and then next is we are seeing that the bond yield is actually going downward. So from this day of January, early this year, January 2001, or rather the end of January, since then we are seeing a kind of very strong correlation between Tesla price, stock price, as well as bond yield. So using this as an indicator, can we do a prediction of how the Tesla stock price is going to move forward? Okay. So for this, I'm going to bring your attention to fully understand how this bond yield has been performing over many years. Okay. So let's look at the. I'm going to switch my chart. I'm going to erase and move to 10 years US 10 years yield. Okay, so we're going to study this because we have seen that. Oh, I've done a lot of analysis on this US bond yield, so that's why I saw a lot of lines earlier. Now, since we made a conclusion early of this year, or since the end of January, there's a high correlation or tight correlation between the US bond yield and Tesla stock. Now, I think it's worthy for us to analyze a bit more on the bond yield, how it has been performing in the over past couple of years, probably tens of years. We want to look at them. Okay, so for that, I'm going to bring you to a rather a very long end perspective of this. So this is starting from since 1985 all the way to now. So bond yield has been actually steadily going downward. Okay, so there are very few occurrences except for this year 2018 where it managed to go high. So if you try to draw a trend line, okay, let us try to draw a trend line to see the trend. So there are a few trend lines I can draw. So I'm going to start with plotting all the top lines. So the top lines that covers the most. So you can see here this particular trend line I'm drawing right now is actually a pretty solid trend line. You know why? Because this particular trend line is really strong. You see? You know why it is so strong? It covers so many points. If you count, I can count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one it break, okay? 8. And we are on the ninth point. So it's pretty solid using a very long data. It's pretty solid. And then we can also try to draw several other lines. So there's also other. We can have this is another trend line. It covers second layer, also going through several points. Yeah, I can extend this here as well. Okay, so generally it has covered this particular point 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 9. So this is a band. We can consider this as a band. The top line, the top trend is actually the upper bound, I would say, and then the lower line is actually the lower bound, I would say, and in between we call it as a band. Okay. So, and of course we have other particular trend lines, the downside. Here we have downside. Okay. So consistently over the past tens of years, consistently he never broke above this particular outer bound trend line, except for 2018. So that's one observation we can make, except for here, right? So it's a pretty solid kind of sell point for the bonds, okay, or rather buying, because price is actually opposite of yield, right? So maybe when the bond sellers are selling, then the yield goes up. So when the bond buyers come in, the yield go down. So here, when it touches a top point all the way here, the bond buyers coming back. So that's why you see here the yield start to go down. So maybe we should also draw some sort of trend lines here, go down here, and then it actually fluctuates between these two lines, no? Fluctuates. Okay, this is another observation we can do. I'm just drawing not to very precise term, so just showing you the fluctuations that's happening, because all these plots will help us to understand what's going on the bond yield. Okay, so it's fluctuating up and down. And this one, the down is quite long, very long up to here. Well, except for this one, it went all the way up. So one thing to notice is, you see, every time it touches the top, goes to the bottom, touches the up, goes to the bottom of the band, all the way along the way, see. Except for this one go beyond, and then it didn't touch the line it's supposed to touch. Okay, so it's somewhere in the middle. So this is during the Corona period, no? When the bond yield started to go down. So that's a period. So we didn't see that touching. That's one surprise, I would say, because all this while it has been touching, and then it starts to go up. Okay, it starts to go up here. Okay, the other thing you can see here is actually we have another kind of support line around here, so we can draw another trend line there, this region. So we notice that the yield actually did not touch all the way down, so which we are expecting, but it actually the bond we saw that the bond buyers come in and start to buy, but then they did not buy enough until it touches the trend as usual. But then the sellers come in, somewhere on this line, then they started to sell back. So that's why the yield is actually climbing back. So that is one weakness we can see. It did not follow the previous trends. Okay, we didn't touch all the way. So the buyer wasn't strong enough to buy enough to make it low, to touch to the expected low here. So in terms of trend, there is no change. The yield curve is still on a downtrend, because we can see that the low here is getting even lower down here, just that the phase is actually getting slower, so it's not as strong as earlier. And then the high here still getting a lower high. So in terms of trend wise, the yield curve is still on a downtrend. Okay, so we can notice at this particular junction, once it hit above, it go down. The yield started to go down, and that is consistent with all the other lines or other points that we discussed. I think there are about 8 points here, where 8 or 9 points, where consistently behave in the same manner. The moment it hits up and then it goes all the way to down. So we are seeing that. So that means that the price, or rather the yield, may go all the way to down, which basically means it may be a good news to stocks like Tesla when the yield curve started to go down. And if it goes down sharply, then of course the Tesla price, we can anticipate it for it to go up sharply. But there is a worry as well. There's still a worry here. If I zoom more detail and I change it to day level, at this part, okay, we can see some sort of flag is there. Maybe we connect the top point first. So it's going downward, and then here we don't have enough point for us to do connection. I'm not sure. Okay, I think this is connecting. This is connecting somehow. Okay, that point and this point is connecting somehow. So it is going down. Once it touched the up, it's going down, and then it's making a high which is lower than previous. Now it's on the downward, so it may hit somewhere down here. So we can expect that the Tesla price to go further down, because it is this yield is on a down move. So the moment it hits somewhere down here, so we need to watch at this part. So once this one hits somewhere here, around here, if it starts to move up like this, then Tesla stock will start to drop. And if let me draw again, if it managed to break up above, then Tesla stock is going to reach probably the price level 200, which I predicted in one of the video. I will share with you here. You can watch this particular video where I highlight to you that there is some how should I call it, there are some hidden signals that indicates that some weaknesses in the sentiment in Tesla stock, which may probably bring all the way to level 200 price for USD 200. So right now it's hovering around 600 plus, so it may bring all the way to 200. So that risk is there if if this particular yield move is break. So because this is a flag, you see, so we are seeing an uptrend here, right? Then it is actually forming some sort of flag here, right? Wait, maybe I draw more clearly. Okay, this is okay. So this is the uptrend. Okay, so it's somewhat forming like a flag here. So when it's a flag pattern, then if it goes beyond the top boundary here, then we can expect history to repeat. This kind of, let me zoom out. This part which we feared, which did not occur in the past tens of years. It occurred in 2018. That may occur again in 2021. So if that particular flag is actually broken, okay, if this particular flag is broken, so that is the fear. So we need to keep watch this particular yield curve, and keep in mind about the analysis about the hidden signal that gives a prediction to price level 200. Okay, so as of now, for short term, very short term, it looks quite safe to buy on Tesla because the yield curve is going down, and we anticipate that the stock price for Tesla to go up. Okay, but if you watch my video, I have another video as well. I'll put it up here. Okay, I'll put another video up here. Okay, you watch here this particular link, and in this link I predicted what is the highest price it might move before it does a U-turn. Tesla price do a U-turn. Okay, so that, I think that is somewhat confirming with this particular analysis. Okay, so in that video that I'm sharing out here in this region, you can click here. I highlighted how much or rather this current increase in Tesla price is gonna hit up to which level. I've done that prediction, and I think that consolidates with this observation. So in this observation, the yield curve is going down, and therefore Tesla price is going up. The moment it hits here, we are expecting the yield to go up back, and that's when in the video I'm sharing around here, it coincides with the level I set, and that's the level I say that the price will start to go down. So the price that goes down, and the what do you call this, yield which is going up, is kind of very, very close. Okay, so do watch that particular video, because that video and this video that they are very closely related. Okay, so I think that's all from me for today, and what I want to conclude is very simple. My previous analysis videos, I have 3 of them. I'll share in the description. You can watch all of them. The 3 of the analysis videos that I made somehow is consistent with this particular observation in the bone yield. So in the previous video I said on a short term we are seeing a price is going to move up, and here also it suggests the same because the yield is going down. So because of the correlation, the Tesla price will go up. And in the video also I said on a long term the price may go down, and that will be true if this particular trend line is broken. If this particular trend line here is broken and if it goes up, yes, I think that price 200 level is possible. But on the opposite side, if it breaks down here, if this particular yield curve breaks downward instead of upward, then we're gonna see what we call Tesla price to shoot up. It's not gonna reach that 200 price level that was targeted, because it will break up another major resistance line in the video which I highlight, and it will go up. Okay, so I don't have so much time. Maybe I will do another video to explain all this thing in more detail, but you can watch the other video to get to know what I'm trying to say. And I'll stop here. I'll see you in the next video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel to keep up to date. Okay, see you, bye.